Hi there, it's Rachel Greig, and in today's video I want to share with you our new rubber stamp release. So we've released some small stamps, some texture stamps, we've got some border stamps and some rubber stamp sets. So I want to give you some ideas and inspiration on how they can be used. And I'll start with the small stamps and the texture stamps. So we have 4 new texture stamps. We've got the tree bark, the fishing net, the sewing spools and the brush stars. Now our texture stamps are based off our background stamps. So our background stamps are a larger version of these stamps that fit an entire card front or a 6x4 inch card front. And so our texture stamps are just a smaller version with a little organic edge around there that you can use to create textures on your mixed media projects or your cards or your gel printing or any of your other projects. So I've just got some cards here that I've created using some of these texture stamps just to show you how they can be used. And now this one's using the fishing net texture stamp, and you can see here with its nice little organic edge just around there, it means you can just stamp directly onto your card or your project and you'll just get that nice little edge there on your texture stamp. Now that's just been stamped with the watering can archival ink, and it just gives a really nice little background there for that card. This one here is the tree bark texture stamp, and that just gives a nice little focal point for this card here, and it works really nicely with all the brown ink pads as well, and it's got lots of little details or lots of detail there that you can see in that bark, so it works really well with those archival inks. And then here is the sewing spools, and just remember that all of our header cards are done in black, but you can see here how nicely it looks when you stamp it with really nice little light colors. So just remember, when you see our header cards, that's the most darkest that you'll ever see that stamp if you are stamping in black, but you can use a lot softer colors as well when you're using our texture stamps. So there's a couple of ways that they can be used. Now going on to our small stamps. Now these ones here are a little bit different to our previous small stamps. Our previous ones were just a single stamp, so these ones here are single stamps, but for 2 stamps that we've got in this range here, there's actually 3 stamps in one. So it is sold as one complete stamp, and all you do is just trim through those little stamps there to make it a 3 different individual stamps. So we've got handmade by, created by and made for you by, and they're really good if you want to put it onto the back of cards. And I've also made some little labels here as well, so you can do handmade by and then write your name on the back there. And then you've got the created by. You can also make little labels. Now this label here, this is from the kitchen stamp set, and you can just stamp those out and then stamp the created by or the made for you by. They all work in that same label. And so that can go onto the back of like books or journals if you're making those, or you might want to make little fabric tags if you're doing sewing or any type of fabric or other mixed media. It could be on the back of canvases or paintings or anything like that. It can be stamped onto wood. So these are really versatile, this stamp set. So it doesn't matter what you're making, these will work really well to write your name on the back. Then we have the journal or the belongs to one, which has this journal belongs to and this book belongs to. And again, this is it's one full stamp, but you can just use your craft scissors to trim through there to make it 2 different stamps, and you can use these inside your journals and your books. So I'll just grab them here. We've got, this is just a little traveler's notebook, and I've just stamped it inside here. This journal belongs to me, and you can use those for your journals. And then also if you have books that you'd like to put it inside there, which you know, who owns the book, that's nice and easy to do that too. So that's great if you create lots of your own journals and you want to have that, and you can also do it in the back. So it doesn't matter, I've done this one here in the front of that journal, but you could also do it in the back here as well. It doesn't matter where you put those on your journals. The next one here we have is the who, what, where, when. And this is kind of like, this is great for journaling and also for scrapbooking or any type of memory keeping. It could also be stamped onto the back of photographs if you want to keep the details of where or what and where and when and all those things for those details. So I've got a couple here that are just stamped out. These are really great if you've just got little extra backgrounds that you've made, like inky backgrounds, and you can just use them up by stamping those out and then have them on hand for when you're doing your journaling or your scrapbooking. So here's a couple of samples here of them being used, and so you can see you can put quite a lot of detail in there. So you know, whether you're just writing that or whether you've got, you know, names, a couple of names, you know, what happened, where did it happen, and when. Also great for travel journals, perfect for that. And also you could actually stamp a lot of these out ahead of time, and then if you're doing a journal on the go, like if you are traveling, and then you can just stick them in your journal as you go, and then you've got those details there. So that's a really handy little stamp. And then the next one here is mark the date. And so that one there, all you do, you've got all your months and your days and the year, and you just simply circle the month and the day and then just write the year. So again, it looks really great here with different colors. I've done some here that are neutral colored. You can, you know, draw your own little borders around the outside if you wanted to. Sponge around the edges with some ink if you'd like to do that. And so you just add those ones to your journals and your scrapbooks and any other project that you're making. So that's a look at our small stamps and our textures. And now I just want to share with you some ideas using our border stamps and our stamp sets. So our border stamps, I'll put them this way here so you can see them, are almost 12 inches in length, and they are great for scrapbook pages and for art journaling. They're also great for cards. They are quite large, but you can use them for cards as well, especially if you're doing slimline cards or, you know, long DL size cards here in Australia. So we have 4 different ones. We've got the row of pencils, the falling snowflakes, the loopy lace, and the daisy chain. So all of these two here, these falling snowflakes and the daisy chain, are available also in a background style as well, so you can mix and match with those if you wanted to. But I thought it'd be really nice to do this, the daisy chain here. This is drawn by Zoe, and it's a really nice one here that you can color in, so you could make, you know, different colored daisies and then color those in. I've got some cards here to show you how they can be used. This is the daisy chain here, and this is just stamped and embossed with clear embossing powder, and then resisted there with that distress ink over the top. So there's lots of different ways that one can be used. The lace here, similar kind of idea here. This is where it's embossed and then resisted here with some distress ink. And so that works out really nicely. And also on that card that I shared with you before with the texture stamps, this also shows you the lace here down the bottom. That's just stamped in Tea Rose archival ink. So you can get some really pretty effects there as well with that stamp. The falling snowflake stamp is absolutely beautiful when done with a resist and embossing. So you can see here that's embossed and then resisted again with those distress inks. It would look also fabulous with the tinsel snowflake embossing powder as well. So that would just give it that nice, really sparkly look as well. And then we have our row of pencils, and we do have a pencils stamp in the eclectic size, which is only, you know, about this big basically, so it's just a few pencils. But I thought it'd be great to actually bunch all the pencils up together to create a really nice border. And so you can see here on this card here, you can color them in. You can actually use pencils to draw lines here. I've just used that with the sketched alphabet stamp set just to create a word there. And so this is how it looks on a card size, like a 6x4 inch card size. And then of course these ones are a much larger card size, so then you can use more of that border. But they also look great in the art journals as well and for your scrapbook pages. So now I'll just show you our rubber stamp sets. And we have 4 new stamp sets. We have the party balloons, we have the curly cupcakes, we have the birthday greetings, and then the twisted tree. So let's talk about the party balloons and curly cupcakes. So these two are designed by Hodeliev Tayskens in Belgium, who you may know as Stamping Matilda. And she's drawn these really nice open line drawing images which you can use to colour in. They work great with Copics or distress markers or watercolours or any other type of colouring medium. And they're really nice here, like with the curly cupcakes, you've got 3 different styles of cupcakes. You've also got the candles and these little cake toppers here, which you can stamp and then insert into the cupcake, and it just creates a fun little interactive kind of card, or you can layer it up with those little different elements to create some really fun cards. I've also got a couple of sentiments here. You've got happy birthday and enjoy, so you can mix and match and create different cupcake cards for the occasions that you need them for. Now, having a look here at the party balloons. Now, these are some really nice open balloons here where you can colour them in. So that gives you lots of different options to colour coordinate whatever card you need to create. And it's got lots of nice little handwritten sentiments there as well that you can mix and match for your cards. So here's just a little card here, just using one of those balloons just coloured in with some watercolour. And so that just shows you there how colourful you can make your cards with that stamp set. Now moving on to the birthday greetings stamp set. Now we have got a Yuletide greetings one with Christmas related greetings in there, and we thought it'd be really cool to have a birthday greetings stamp set. So this one here has all different greetings here for birthdays. So there's 5 different big ones that are great for the inside or the front of cards. And then we've got the little ones here, which, you can use as smaller ones on the front of your cards or also inside your cards. So if you wanted to do time to celebrate on the front, and then you can go wishing you the best birthday ever on the inside of your card. So you've got a few options there on how they can be used. And they're really nice and simple to use just on their own with any sort of background that you have. Like these are just some backgrounds that I've created previously and I have in my stash of backgrounds, and then you can just simply put that together, stamp one of these sentiments on top, and then you've got a nice little quick birthday card. So if you have lots of these backgrounds on hand and then you needed to just do a sentiment last minute and you wanted to color coordinate it, that's what you can do when you have this this birthday greeting stamp set. So that's a fun little stamp set to have. And now this one here, this is the Twisted Tree stamp set, and this is probably our first Halloweeny stamp set. Now it doesn't necessarily mean it's just for Halloween. You can use it obviously for any type of projects. A lot of people like to do, the bats and the ravens and the little dark birds and stuff, any time of the year if you want to do, this type of project. And we've just put some words in here: in the dead of night, wicked, dark and twisted. And when I saw this tree out in the wild, when I photographed it for this stamp set, I just knew that this was going to make a fabulous stamp, which is why I needed to photograph it. And then I'm so pleased that we've now got it in stamp form so we can all enjoy it. So this stamp here there's lots of little different elements on here. And again, our stamp sets come as one big sheet, which you then can cut up into individual stamps. So I do have a video here on YouTube if you're wondering how to do that. We always recommend using Tim Holtz scissors because they've got the serrated edge on that scissor there, which makes them much easier to cut through that rubber. You can also keep the stamp set as one whole sheet if you wish, if you have a stamp positioner tool. But if you do want to cut them up, I recommend the Tim Holtz scissors and just cut along these straight lines here, and then you can go in there. So it's there is a video here on our YouTube channel. I'll put the link up here in the corner there if you'd like to check that out. This one here, it has a lot of the reason I'm talking about that, it does have a lot of little birds here and bats and things. So they're quite easy to cut through, but this is why we have them in the storage case as well. So then, because they're quite tiny, so they can be lost very easily. So that's why we like to keep them in our little storage case. But the reason we've done them so small up here is so they will fit on this tree. So we had to do it in the right ratio for the tree. And it also means that these little bats and the birds can be used with the larger bats, and it just gives you that depth in your projects. So it means you've got, bats and birds flying at a much further distance than the ones that are much closer, which are these larger ones. So it just gives you lots more options, which is why we've included all the different sizes, because you can have them sitting here on this branch. So this bird here works really well if you sit it up the top there, or you can sit it on the edge here. You can put them over here. Like any parts of this branch here can have these sitting birds in any different way. So of course, if you've got this stamp set, mix and match and just see what you can come up with. We've got all the little spooky words, lots of bats. This works really well with our circle stencil. And to make the moon, if you want to do a moon behind the tree or behind the branch here, and it just gives you some really cool Halloweeny, spooky night, dark, eerie feel for your projects. So that's a little look and a little idea just to give you some inspiration on all of our new stamps that we have for this release. And again, these are just some of the projects that we have created, our design team and I have created to begin with, but we'll be sharing all of our ideas on our blog and in our newsletters. So make sure you're subscribed to our newsletter, which you can do on our website. Just go darkroomdoor.com/newsletter and you can sign up for that. And we'll be sharing lots of new ideas using all of these stamps. So all of our new stamps are available on the Darkroom Door website at darkroomdoor.com or ask for them at your favourite craft retailer. Thanks so much for watching.